Good morning, I'm Taylor Upchurch. Today is Saturday, April 20th. A well-known Eastern Kentucky truck driver died following a crash last week. The crash happened near the Clay and Leslie County line on April 8th. J.D. Hacker died 2 days later. Hacker was retired but known throughout the area for his days behind the wheel. His two daughters shared their memories of him with WYMT's Macy Marie.
A beloved community member now gone.
He was an extraordinary man. He went above and beyond.
James Hacker, or JD, died on April 10th after a crash. He drove trucks all over Eastern Kentucky, leading to another name he was known by, his trucker handle, Black Stallion. But Virginia Hoskins and Deborah Fisher simply knew him as Dad.
He had 8 grandchildren and a whole bunch of great-grandchildren that are truly going to miss him.
He was called Black Stallion for so long the daughters do not know where the name came from, but they do know Hacker loved his job.
If a truck was broke down on the parkway, if he was passing by and he didn't know them, he would stop and check on that driver.
He also enjoyed spending time with family.
His grandchildren, his brothers, sisters, nieces, nephews. He enjoyed going to church.
As a memorial, loved ones drove their own trucks down the highway.
His nephew's truck was in it.
And some of Hacker's old rides were also in the lineup.
He would have been well pleased.
Love and support showing how wonderful their father was to everyone around him.
Hacker was just 85 years old. The family says more than 800 people showed up to his funeral. Charges are pending against the other driver in the crash, Alfred Francis. Kentucky State Police say Francis is being treated at UK. And now let's check in with meteorologist Shane Smith for a look at your forecast this morning. Shane, what can folks look forward to this Easter weekend?
Taylor, we're going to start off the weekend on a dreary note. In fact, a lot of cloud cover already showing up, a few showers also out there this morning. Here's a look at the time lapse from the University of Virginia down in Wise, and you can see we dealt with some rain overnight, and pinpoint Doppler currently tracking some showers and even maybe a few flakes of snow, all thanks to this very large area of upper level low pressure sitting just off to our south. And notice those bands of heavier precipitation back up towards the Louisville metro area. That will rotate into eastern Kentucky a little bit later on this morning and early through the afternoon, and will bring us a pretty soggy day. Not to mention will bring us some pretty cool temperatures. We're currently in the low to mid 40s across the entire area, and that's where thermometers are going to stay throughout the entire day today. So a dreary Saturday on tap with temperatures in the 40s throughout the entire day. We'll definitely need those umbrellas and a bit of a jacket to deal with the cool weather today. However, Easter Sunday, the weather looks to improve, son. We'll take a look at the forecast featuring some sunshine and warmer temperatures here in just a few minutes.
A Pike County man federal investigators say went on a multi-state robbery spree will enter a plea next month. The case is being tried in federal court in southern Florida. Here is the man agents arrested. His name is Jason Lee Robinson. Police say he robbed 7 banks in several states, including one in Miami. They caught him in Colorado. Robinson does have a history of bank robberies, and his arraignment is scheduled for May 9th. Yesterday, U.S. regulators approved the first generic version of Narcan. The drug reverses opioid overdoses. Israel's Teva Pharmaceuticals will produce the new naloxone spray. However, they have not released a price. Currently, someone can buy a pack of 2 Narcan nasal sprays for about $130 to $150 over the counter without insurance. More than 47,600 Americans died of opioid overdoses in 2017. Kentucky ranks 5th for having the most. This could be one of the many topics at next week's National Prescription Drug Abuse and Heroin Summit in Atlanta. Thursday, we learned President Trump will speak Wednesday at 1. It runs Monday through Thursday. We'll have a reporter there all week long. Coverage begins Monday night at 6. And we've all heard about the chicken crossing the road, but what happens when it's a turkey? Barberville students got a surprise on their way back home from a soccer game in Whitley County Thursday night. WYMT's Hannah Reynolds talks to students about their reaction to the turkey hitting their bus.
I didn't know what had happened, really.
It came as quite the shock last night.
I could hear the windshield shatter.
Some middle schoolers and their bus driver just trying to make it home.
Our bus driver left Whitley County High School, and when he got out on the main road, it went about 500 yards.
That is when something stopped them in their tracks.
I didn't know where we were, so I thought we were like beside a mountain, so I thought a rock fell. I heard a big bang, and I looked out the back window for some reason, and there was feathers flying everywhere.
A turkey flew directly into the windshield. Luckily, not in the driver's view.
If it would have flew right at his face, I mean, you're talking scars, and he might not have been able to hold it on the road.
Crews spent Friday replacing the bus's windshield, and staff say they're just glad nothing worse happened.
With what happened, this is the best that could have ended up, just having to replace a windshield.
Staff say no one at the bus received any injuries, just shooken up from what will likely be the memory of a lifetime. In Barberville, Hannah Reynolds, WYMT Mountain News.
Crews working on the windshield say the turkey caused about $1,500 worth of damage. It's unclear if the turkey survived. And state wildlife officials want to warn you about bears today. They ask you not to feed bears or other animals. This is the time of the year bears are more active in some parts of Kentucky. Folks with Fish and Wildlife also say you should not leave trash in containers that bears could get into. Officials are forced to euthanize a few bears each year because they presented a potential danger to the public after being fed by humans. And Attorney General Andy Beshear wants to expand gambling in the Commonwealth. The money would go to fund public pension systems. He wants to legalize casino gambling and sports betting. Beshear is one of several Democrats running for governor. Two of his rivals are taking shots at the proposal. State Representative Rocky Adkins says it's an unrealistic proposal that can't pass the Republican-led legislature. Adam Edelin says it's an irresponsible gamble since past proposals failed. The primary election is May 21st. And here's a quick reminder for voters. If you want to vote in the primary but have not registered, time is quickly running out. Monday will mark the final day. You can register and even make changes to your registration at govoteky.com or by visiting your local county clerk's office. Attorney General and Secretary of State are two other top ticket races this year. And for the past 25 years, people in Harlan County celebrate Good Friday by hosting a Way of the Cross walk around downtown. More than 50 people showed up to the annual celebration yesterday. As they marched around town, they made 10 different stops and read scripture about the resurrection of Jesus Christ.
The story, although we all know it, when you hear it in different people's voices and you hear it read by people that you know, and then in the parts where we read together, it really touches you in a different way. You become a character in the story, and as you go through it, perhaps you're a different character at different times of the story.
Rain or shine, the service is held every year on Good Friday at noon. Coming up on Mountain News this morning, the California couple who kept their 13 children in a house of horrors was sentenced to 25 years to life in prison. And later, we'll check in with Jason Lindsay to see what he's working on for us in this morning's Hooked on Science segment.
A cool and wet Saturday is in store for most of eastern Kentucky today, but your Easter Sunday looks much nicer in the full forecast on the other side of this break.